All right, you guys, another Wednesday, another weekly team prosperity meeting. This week, we're going to exit out of a multi-week marketing series that we did and go into a little bit more about, what it takes to be successful in this business, kind of a breakdown and overview. And then we'll take the next couple weeks after that to go into more detail about some of these things in the overview. It's very, very important as you're building a business that you help identify on the front side, either potential clients or potential partners, what's needed, what's expected. So you can start to weed those people out, because on both sides of the fence, we just want to help the people that want to help themselves. And that's one of the most important things in the learning curve. Once you understand that and get past that, it's about sorting those people out, talking to the right people, not talking to the wrong people. So today is March 9th. We're getting into spring, summertime. This is a great time to be talking to people. There's a lot of people on the move. There's a lot of things in the news. There's a lot of things to talk about. So when you open conversations with people, get people's opinions, get people's, talking about either their problems, their motivating factors, their pain points, whatever it is. If you open your mouth and let people know a little bit about what you do, how you help people, the people that you do help, what do those people look like in terms of a persona? It's easy, guys, to open conversations when there's no pre-hidden agenda. Like, not trying to sell somebody. I'm not trying to pitch somebody, recruit somebody, just trying to talk to somebody to get information that will help me uncover, what to do next, if anything. There have been a few videos this past week that are unlisted. So I make most everything public, means that anybody can find it. There's some things unlisted just for our team. Doesn't mean that it's private, that nobody can see it. It just means that it's not for public view. Those URLs are in the Facebook group, as well as if you need anything, just let me know. There's high-level app training this week, GPS 1, GPS 2. So there's a lot of things, like I said, that we do release publicly. But this stuff needs to be held kind of to the team, because it's talking about specific products, specific companies, etc. Last week, like we talked about earlier, we did end the multi-week marketing series, and that went through a whole bunch of things over about a 4-week period of time. But last week, we talked about the breakdown, traditional versus digital marketing, recognizing the sweet spot for both. Both of those work. There's a sweet spot in the middle. You just have to recognize that sweet spot. Understanding your marketing purpose, what you're trying to do, your target or objective, strategy checklist for marketing, making sure you get everything done on that checklist, understanding the importance and value of the information that you have and you're giving away, and then thinking outside the box, how to get in front of more people with this information that people need, so I can start to generate pipelines and communication cycles and end outcomes. This week, like I said, we're going to change course a little bit. I think this is kind of, an important topic, because it allows us to take self-inventory about what's going on, what we need to work on, but it also helps us identify, good people to bring into our organization, whether that be on the client side or the partner side. So really, we want to talk about, is this, or are we treating this like a hobby? Or are we treating this like a business? Because like we talked about before, if you treat it like a hobby, you're gonna make hobby income. Treat it like a business, you make business income. So what does it take to build a business? And then secondarily, are we willing to pay the price? Are our partners willing to pay the price? And then when you're talking about clients, it's about an end destination, but it's still the same thing. What does it take? Are they willing to pay the price? So let's talk about building this business and what that looks like. First of all, what's your level of organization? I will tell you that organization can be a make or break, because if you're organized and if you approach the day with organization, with intention, then you will understand and have a habit or a routine that you follow. This helps you get stuff done. This helps you stay on top of things, but also in a business like ours, when you're not organized, when you're unorganized or disorganized, it costs you money. And the cumulative factor, or compounding factor of that over time, you're going to lose so much money. So much stuff's going to fall through the cracks, that the entire business suffers so much. There's so much deficiency in there that it kind of caves from within and crumbles. On the other side, if you are organized, the compounding factor of that over time greatly increases things like, revenue, income, partner, client growth. And then, you're setting the tone and you're setting the example for a branch and then multiple offices around the nation. So organization, your level of organization is going to determine, whether or not you're going to get paid like a hobby or you're going to get paid like a business. That really comes with understanding what you need to do. Alana has a checklist every day and she goes through and checks stuff off. I think it's important to understand what you're trying to accomplish. Have a visual, be able to check stuff off, know when you begin, know when you end, know what gets done, know what does not get done. So you know whether or not you're on the right track or not. And then, like I said, you're developing habits, you're developing a routine, you're learning to plan, you're consistent, you're finding a balance, you're learning to prioritize. Remember, there's a lot of activities that need to be done as an entrepreneur. What's most important? Tier that stuff up, declutter, simplify, learn to measure what either is happening or not happening, automate some of the stuff that you can, outsource some of the stuff that you can, and then experiment. What works best for me? We're all individuals. We're all unique human beings. Your organization hack may be different from mine, maybe different from somebody else's. The point is get organized because it's an important part of understanding, whether or not you're going to be successful at this business. Organization also has to do with time management. So the ability to be organized, the ability to have the stuff laid out, the ability to get stuff checked off a list. Either the old saying, the day runs us or we run the day. Organization helps you fight that going battle of time management. And if you get good at time blocking, if you get good at time management, understanding what you need to do to be the most organized you possibly can, good things are going to happen for you. Next up is your ability to sell yourself. Remember, we have a whole vertical, and inside that vertical, there's a lot of moving parts. There's companies, products, and services, but a client as well as a partner is doing business with you. So it's me incorporated, right? I'm going to be with that client. We're trying to build a relationship. I'm going to be with that partner, training, coaching, mentoring, supporting, all of those things. So you need to understand on the front side, that relationship that you're building, that's a personal relationship between you and the other side. What you insert into that relationship in terms of product and services, that's up for debate in terms of, what they actually need based on the conversations, education, reports, etc. But you have to be able to understand, because a lot of people don't know. When you sit down and talk to them, they may think you're just a salesman. You're going to sell them something and you're done. The relationship continues. We have more ways we can possibly help them. But on the front side, you have to be able to sell your ability to create a relationship that the other side buys into. And like I said, no matter if it's partners or clients, it's about the ability to connect with somebody, help them identify where they're trying to go, what it takes to get there, if they're willing to pay the price, how you fit into the relationship or situation. So like I said, both of these sides, clients and partners, you have to have the ability to sell yourself, sell the relationship, and sell your ability to get them to the point down the road that they're trying to get to. What's your level of effort? Remember, effort is what you bring to the playing field, so to speak, day in and day out. Like you can have high effort one day, low effort the next day. The level of effort, the consistency of that level of effort is important, because you're going to have good days, bad days, okay days, but you control certain things. So one of the things that you control is the level of effort, and you can automatically tell what's going on in your business by your level of effort. So your level of effort is going to determine, what happens now and what happens in the future. It's also going to be something that either your agency feeds off of or doesn't feed off of, depending on what you bring to the table. And this is going to determine, like I said, a lot that goes on. And this saying to the right-hand side is so true. So you have to understand for yourself, your clients, your partners, the level of effort that we, that you, that them tolerate from ourselves is going to define our life. So if you're okay, your partner's okay, your clients are okay with mediocrity, below average, subpar results. And that's what they're going to get. We have to bring something to the table, and we have to have, the action plan and the execution that we're going to talk about. But that involves a level of effort, because without that effort, without the ability to progress forward, all of the other stuff that we talk about, doesn't even make a difference. The ability to go forward and go on and keep progressing forward with the effort is grit. So what's our level of grit? Because we can get excited about something, that newness is going to wear off. And we talk about the 12-week year, the cycle of change, all those things, but the grit is going to allow us to get from the starting point through those middle trenches to the end point that we're going to look for, and that we mapped out and that we're actually trying to get to. So that's guts, resilience, initiative, tenacity. The grit, remember, is the secret recipe, or the secret ingredient in the recipe. With grit, we get through the periods of time. With grit, we get to the end point. Without grit, there's going to be some point along the way, along the journey, where we just fall off and we quit. When we look at grit, there's the growth factor, but there's also the resilience, the ability to bounce back. Especially as an entrepreneur, you got to solve a bunch of problems. You got to deal with, people, marketing. You wear a lot of hats. If you have bad things happen, the ability to bounce back up from adversity and actually use that adversity to learn from and get better, that's a dimension of grit. And then it's also about the, perseverance, the persistence, the never saying die attitude that, like I said, gets us through the bad moments, keeps us moving forward. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how the outside world looks at, your success when you get there, it's not that straight line. And we know that, and the other people that we're inviting into this journey with us need to know that as well. As an entrepreneur building a business, it gets messy, but ultimately you're still heading towards the same direction. It's just not a straight line. So you have to have grit. And then you also have to have a willingness to learn. So what's your level, or what's your interest in learning? Because if you have a willingness and if you have an interest in learning, I really feel that nobody can stop you in an entrepreneurial environment. However, if you're unwilling to learn, if you just don't want to learn, I really feel like nobody can help you in an entrepreneurial environment, because you have to continue to go forward. You have to learn. You have to implement those things that you learn. The more you learn, the more you earn. In an entrepreneurial environment, we're not paid a salary or hourly wages to do a job. And then we master that job. We do it continuously over and over and over again, because it doesn't matter. We get paid the same. In an entrepreneurial environment, one of the advantages is there's no ceilings. We can continue to take on new skill sets, new knowledge, and then we can also pass that down through the agency growth. And that provides a velocity and a kind of fuel to the fire. So like I said, developing that entrepreneurial mindset, really thinking about your business constantly, that thirst for knowledge. How can I make it better for my clients? How can I make it better for my partners? How can I make it better for myself? How can I make my brand better? How can I make the customer experience better? Those are the kind of things that we as entrepreneurs think about. If we're not thinking about them, other entrepreneurs are thinking about that. They're going to come in from a competitive standpoint. They're going to eat our lunch. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to realize this is a competition, and you have to get better at what you do going forward. And then what's your level of implementation? Remember, the plan has to be in place. The execution comes later, but you have to have a plan in place to understand. And that implementation is very, very, very important. It's, what are we trying to accomplish here? What's the plan? That's putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Where am I trying to get to? How am I going to get there? What are the anticipated roadblocks or obstacles along the way? What's the plan, right? Everybody needs a plan, whether we're a client, partner, ourselves, agency, recruiter, sales, whatever it might be. You have to have a plan. And then what's your level of strategy? Remember, the plan of action includes strategy, and your strategy is going to change as you develop and you grow and you learn. And you earn more money and you build, distribution. That strategy is going to change. So it's going to be a little bit different for everybody, depending on where you are in the business cycle. But you have to understand that if you have strategy and you're putting things into motion within that strategy, like continuing to learn, like we talk about, and educate yourself, inside that plan with the strategy, then when you break it down, like I said, whether it's recruiting, whether it's selling, whether it's management, whether it's sales, there's going to be different business level strategies. And you need to work on what's most important to your business growth at this time. Like I said, this is flexible. This is going to change. But ultimately, what's most important to my business growth right now, because you have a lot of help around you. So you may not need to even think about the management side of the business yet, because you have complete help with that. So your level or your strategy, your mindset, where you're trying to think about maybe on the marketing side, it's different from everybody, but we're constantly thinking, like I said, how to get better, how to improve things. That's strategy. And then when it all kind of boils down to what's going to either determine whether or not it's happening, yeah, you've got to have action and you've got to have grit, but you've got to have execution within that plan. So having a plan, having strategy, that's going to set forth, and then the wheels are going to turn through the execution. So what's your level of execution? How well can you execute? And like I said, that's going to be a big determining factor on how slow, how fast, how big this thing grows for you. You have to press the execution button at some time. You can't sit around and continue to think, plan, prepare, because that's just a veiled form of procrastination. That's just keeping you from what you actually need to do, which is the uncomfortable part of the execution, of the action points, of doing the things that you need to do to build this business. So you have the strategy. On the other side, you have the anticipated or expected success. In the middle, that bridge, that roadway that we're building from strategies to success is built through execution. And then what's your level of confidence? Remember, you don't have to know everything in your business to be confident. If you're confident in the ability for us to help other people in our products and services, what we're doing, you can be confident about that going through the learning curve. On the other hand, if you're not confident, it comes out in your self-reflection and how you're viewed by other people, some of the things that you say. So that fear, the skepticism, the anxiety, the pessimism, that's going to come out, and people are not going to be drawn and attracted to somebody like that, because those people on the other side, whether it's our client or partner, they're looking for somebody to help them reach their personal goals. That comes from a level of confidence. They're not going to follow somebody and buy into somebody's vision that's riddled with, lack of confidence. We talk about this before, if we're confident in our business and we're going through and we're developing good habits, routines, communication skills, everything's going great. On the other hand, if we have a lack of confidence, that's panic management. Panic management leads to chaos, and that ultimately leads to destruction, quitting, whatever it might be. We solve panic management by having activity, by having a plan, by executing. So sometimes you have to realize that your level of confidence can be, increased just by doing the basic things that we've been talking about today. So you're not put in a position where you don't have no idea what to do. When you have no idea what to do, when you have no plan, when you have no strategy, you really have no execution, you're just sitting around thinking about your deficiencies, what's going wrong, how it's not going to go right for you. And then what's your level of attitude? Remember, we bring the activity, we bring the energy, we bring a lot of things, but the attitude has to be there as well, because like I said, a lot of what we do on a daily basis is, interpersonal communication. You're talking to people, you're marketing, you're interacting, you're networking. Your attitude has to be there, because not every day is going to be good. Some days are really going to suck, but you have to rise above that moment and realize what you're doing on a long-term basis, and realize that you have to not be too high, not be too low. You have to bring like an even keel to this thing and understand that cool, calm, collected, but also excited, energetic. These are the things that you're looking for. Attitude, the good attitude, the solid attitude is the ticket to success. That's going to help you through the rough times. It's going to help you attract the right personas that you're looking for. So that angry, disinterested, cynical, bitter person, the person needs to remain off to the side. They're not going to get in the game. We want to bring energy. We want to bring charisma, caring, vitality, creativeness to, what we do on a daily basis through marketing, through sales, through management, whatever it might be. You have choices each and every day. One of those choices is your attitude. Bring a good one because it has a positive ripple effect in a lot of different areas of your business. And then what's your level of focus? That's going to determine a lot of what this business returns to you. Is this business a hobby, or is this business an actual business that's going to create something that helps you reach your goals? Focus comes from a lot of directions, or the lack of focus actually comes from a lot of directions. So when we talk about focus, we talk about, there could be professional distractions, personal distractions. You got to starve those distractions. You have to feed the focus, understanding what you're supposed to focus on. And then also understanding that, if you're trying to do 8 things out there, you can be a jack of all trades, master of nothing. You have to actually invest time, energy, resources into getting good at something, specializes in something. Because even if you think about, outside our industry, think about high paid professionals. Most of those people specialize in something. So you can't be out there doing everything. Follow one course until successful. And then what's your level of communication? This doesn't mean like how much can I talk during the day. This is actually, am I learning? Am I mastering the art of communication? Because communication means listening, means interpreting, means giving feedback, means asking for more. So communication is very, very important. It's going to grow your business, or it's going to kill your business. We hope that it, will grow your business. And as you grow your business, you're going to have more responsibility. So, there's 5 levels of communication depending on where you are in your business model. Maybe talking to one person, maybe talking to a branch, maybe talking to a large group. You'll grow with your business, but understand that communication is not one of those things that we learn at a young age how to speak, and then we stop learning how to communicate. It's an ongoing process. The better that you get at communicating, the better and easier it is to start sorting these people out and helping people understand if they're coming with a fixed mindset, if they're infatuated over cost over value, any of those typical things psychologically, we can help people overcome roadblocks, overcome obstacles with the right, set of communication skills. And then what's your level of accountability? This is the glue that's going to hold it all together. So if you ever try to fix something without glue, it might sit there for a minute and prop up, but eventually it's going to come crumbling down again. Same thing with your business. If you're not accountable to yourself, not accountable to other people, and you're not creating an environment and a culture of accountability, you're going to find that your business is going to suffer and not grow, at the rate with the same retention as other organizations that do have and implement accountability. And that starts with yourself, just being honest about either what's happening or what's not happening with your business, valuing others, keeping records, measuring stuff, taking responsibility, doing the right thing, acting promptly. Basically, accountability boils down to, I'm just getting rid of the excuses. I'm not going to allow the excuses. I'm not going to justify the excuses. I'm not going to, do any of those things typically that allows myself to go forward without any measure of accountability. I'm getting rid of the excuses, and I'm going to really be open and honest about what's going on. And then what's your level of motivation? Motivation is going to come from different factors for different people. That's going to be different for all of us, but you have to find what's going to motivate you, because, you're not climbing a ladder to nowhere. You're going to stop climbing at some point if you have no idea where you're going. Just keep climbing and climbing and climbing for no reason. What are you trying to get to? What are you trying to accomplish? Because that creates motivation, because now I can see myself at an endpoint. I can feel myself at that endpoint. And then through that process, I can create intrinsic motivation by understanding what motivates me and understanding how to motivate myself. And once you understand how to motivate yourself, and you understand how to motivate your clients, and you understand how to motivate your partners, well, now everybody's moving forward, and we understand why we're moving forward. And now we understand how we can help that person. That all starts, like I said, with understanding what's going to motivate us. The level of investment, and this is kind of one of those words that I don't think people really understand. I'm not talking about a monetary investment. Yes, if you have the ability to invest money into your business to grow it, you definitely should. But I'm talking about the overall investment. Like if you were to go to a job and get paid by the hour, paid by the year, whatever it might be, what are you worth in the marketplace? So A, you're investing that because you're giving that up to start your own business. So if you're $100,000 employee coming in year one, you got $100,000 investment into this business. But it also means we all have time. So it doesn't matter what our monetary position is right now, what our financial condition is right now. We all have the same 24 hours, and you can beat people. You can get ahead of people. You can, do a lot of things with the time that you have. If you invest it into the right places that gets the return, you can grow your business. But understand, you're growing your business and investing in your business is also about investing in yourself, self-development, helping yourself grow, getting those communication skills, learning all the things that we've been talking about. This is an opportunity for you to grow as a person. And as you grow as a person, your business is going to grow also. A little side note about investment into your business. A lot of people look at marketing, lead cost as an expense. Marketing and lead generation, all those things, that's an investment into your business. That's why we say, what does that get as a return? It's not an expense. So you have to start evaluating things differently in your business to understand how things work. And then what's your level of, customer centricity, meaning how customer focused are we? Because when we look at our customer base and we look at our personas, when we really start to identify those people, understand those people, study those people, communicate effectively with those people, once you start to turn the spotlight from yourself onto the customers, helping people get what they want, all of a sudden the floodgates open up. Now it's not about a product or service. And it's not about me and what I'm trying to do within the business. It's about who can I go out and help today? If I get infatuated, if I get obsessed with helping people, which we've got a lot of solutions that do work for people, then my business starts to grow, and it starts to grow at a rapid pace. This is all today about understanding what to do to level up to grow a business, moving from a hobby-like condition where I might not make any money, might make a little bit of money, to actually growing a business, understanding what it takes to get to 6, 7 figures, and then something that actually has an exit strategy. I'm not just a salesperson starting over every month. I'm building distribution. I'm building assets. I'm investing in myself. I'm investing in my business. So guys, that's all we have for this week. For the next couple of weeks, like I said, we're going to go into some more details about some of this stuff, how to get to a point where your business is giving you in return what you expect, because now you're investing on the front side, what's expected to get there.